Welcome, my friends. Welcome to Fantasy YouTube channel. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Or, welcome me back. I don't know, one or the other. Yeah, sorry I missed you guys over the past couple of weeks, but the first week, the week before last, was Super Bowl weekend, and I kind of didn't live stream only because I figured people were going to be involved with Super Bowl parties, even if they weren't into the Super Bowl or something, but it was a busy weekend. Also Julie's birthday. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday, Julie. And then last week I was traveling again. So, but it was cool because I got to get a lot of fun stuff that we'll cover today. So it looks like we got Tom in the room. Julie might not be there. She was going to take the girls out, but that's why she left a message there. But we do have Tom. So welcome, Tom. We have Doodle, who's freaking out here. So he wants to come up. There he is. It's Doodle. Doodle, say hi to Tom. Say hi to Tom. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Yeah? Or you just want a snack? Is that it? You just want a snack? Yeah, okay. He'll probably be back later. Doodle, Tom says hi. I love, so there is it's a bakery. It's a French bakery in Bogota. And it is called, what is it called? It's called Bagatelle. And they make dog cookies. They make cookies for dogs. And so what is it? Harina integral, which is whole wheat flour, avena, and hojuelas. That's oatmeal or oats. Caldo magui. Caldo magui is like beef broth, vanilla. Margarine, leche deslactosada y agua. So that's lactose-free milk and water. So, good enough for people to eat, but I'm not going to eat these because, we get a bunch of them and then they're gone in no time if I start eating them. So it's for Doodle. Here you go, dude. Here you go. He'll be back. I know he'll be back. So I'm hoping that we get some folks here today. It's an iffy day here. I'm not sure if it's going to rain. It's here in Colombia, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Ice Hand is here. Ice Hand, did you changed your name? So now you're Ice Hand. The name's so great, they named him twice. Hello, Ice Hand. Welcome. Glad you could make it. Let's see who else comes into the room. So again, still in Colombia, got a bunch of interesting treats. So while I was in Bogota, which is where I was last week, there's a Asian, I don't want to call it a grocery, I guess an Asian store called Y&Y. I don't know why. Called Y&Y. And so it's very, very nice inside there, very nicely furnished, very modern, a lot of neon, fake grass on the walls and stuff like that. Really, really nice place. But the drawback is that they don't have any prepared food. They do have like a tea room, but they don't have any prepared food, and they don't have any produce. So it's like go in there and buy some durian or bok choy or anything like that. So it's all packaged stuff. But we got some fun stuff there. But it's just cool to know that that even in Bogota you can still find a nice. I'm going to go ahead and call it an Asian grocery. So, it has not changed. But your name was not Ice Hand. I don't think. Was it? Am I just like getting old and forgetful? I don't remember it being Ice Hand. I mean, it was like an Ice Hand and then some number after it or something. I could be wrong. Oh, Grubwarp walked into the room. I completely missed you, Grubwarp, and I'm sorry about that. I'm glad you could make it and make it early at that. So, yeah, we're just getting started. We're 5 minutes in. We get it's a grab bag again, And so we have a full complement of snacks and beverages. The beverage is going to be interesting, and I'll explain why when we get to it. In the meantime, our grab bag today is from Trader Joe's Boston. Obviously, I'm not in Boston, but but the grab bag is from Trader Joe's Boston. I have not done anything. The app might be doing something. But was your name on Facebook that your, I don't know what you call that handle, whatever you call that? Was it always Ice Hand? Do I just not remember that it said that your name was Ice Hand, or something else? I don't know. I don't know. Mr. Hand, is Mr. Spicoli going to pass the semester? I don't know. All right, who else we got? We know a lot of people. We got 4 people in there, and I know 3 of them. So one person is being very quiet. You don't Facebook. No, that's not a Facebook thing. It's just I just, for some reason, I remember when you came on YouTube here that your name was not Ice Hand, that it was something else, like it was Ice Hand and a number after it or something. So I don't know, because this is YouTube, so I just don't know. Let me get this straight here. There we go. We're good here. Our adult beverage today is only slightly adult. So, and I say that because it's a low ABV, but we'll get to that shortly. How is everybody doing? So Julie may not be joining us because she left a message earlier. She may not be joining us because I think they're expecting a blizzard. And so she's going to go stock up, get the kids some food and stuff like that. So she may or may not join us. But how is it in your neck of the woods? I mean, Tom, it is still February in Colorado. How's your weather? Slightly adult beverage. That's right. Slightly adult. I mean, I wouldn't give it to a kid because it still does have alcohol in it, but still, How you guys doing? How you doing, Tom? How you doing, Ice Hand? How you doing, Grub Warp? Well? Not well? Somebody just snuck into the room. Don't know who that was. There, number 5. But it's good to be back. I missed you guys. You guys, this side, do you guys see that? Like that movement? I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's the light on the back of the chair. It snowed about 12 inches the last couple of days. Oh, wow. And did you already have snow on the ground? So that was like additional snow on top of snow? Because that's usually what happens. Like, it's been a while since I've lived in New England, but they just had, I guess you could call it a storm. They just had a considerable amount of snow, and now they're getting more. Doing okay now, waiting for the same storm as Julie. Oh, okay. Ice Hand, you're in New Jersey, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Had a flood in the middle of the night this week when the baseboard water. Oh, inside. I thought you meant like there was flooding, but it sounds like it's inside. The baseboard water heater pipe exploded. Not fun. Yes, but it has melted a fair amount. Well, the problem in the winter when you have a lot of snow on the ground and then it does melt and then you get snow on top of that is that usually if it's cold enough to snow, it's cold enough for that water to freeze. And so you have snow on top of ice, which is like tons of fun for driving on, from what I remember. Yes, New Jersey. Oh, so it's the same storm front, I guess. It's like, what do they call that? Is it a nor'easter? A nor'easter, I think. So it heads northeast, I think. So, I mean, who knows? Like here in Columbia, you look at the weather for the day and it says, oh, chance of rain at noon. And it's just it's like throwing darts at a dartboard. It's like, maybe it'll rain at noon. Maybe it'll rain at 4. Maybe it won't rain at all. The thing you can count on is it'll be about 70 degrees. And then at night, it'll be about 50 degrees. So, there's that variation. Same thing every day. Same amount of snow, of light, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I like that, though. I do like living in a place that has 4 distinct seasons. This place has 1 distinct season, and that's spring. It's spring all year round. But I do like living in a place where there's 4 distinct seasons. I especially love the autumn in New England is one of my favorite times and places to be anywhere. Is autumn in New England. I don't even mind the winter. I don't even mind snow. But it doesn't snow here. We're at 7,000 feet, but it doesn't snow here. There are we're in the Andes Mountains, and there are other higher elevations where it does snow, and it probably snows all year round. We're not one of them. It's been a fairly warm winter, not a lot of snow. Well, I guess that's a blessing unless you like snow. But like if you're out in a rural area where you have to travel a little bit to get into a, like a city center to do shopping or to go to to go to like a pharmacy or something like that, then that becomes a problem when you have like a lot of ice, a lot of snow and stuff like that. So I guess it is a blessing that it's been a fairly warm winter. All right, so who else we got? We got somebody else in the room who's just kind of lurking. And if you want to continue doing that, that's fine. If not, join us, join us. We got about a few more minutes left. I guess we'll try to let some other people. Oh, somebody just joined us. I don't know who that was. Lack of snow causes big problems in the spring and summer. Oh, as far as like growth, as far as like things not getting enough water. So you have the snow runoff, I guess, is responsible for a lot of the water out there. And if you don't get that, yeah, I can see that. Summer you would get drought. Do you get droughts where you are, Tom? In Colorado, are you susceptible to droughts there? You don't think about like in mountain air. Oh, that and wildfires, yeah. That's like in Southern California. So when you have like a kind of a rainy winter, you look at the hillsides, and the hillsides are green, and everything's growing like crazy. Like you have weeds that are like 3 feet tall, green, of course. But then the warm weather comes, the hot weather comes, kills those, and they just turn into fuel for fires. And so like if you have kind of a wet winter where everything's kind of growing, and then you have like the heat comes early, kills everything, then you have a lot more danger for fire. So yeah, I can dig it, as they say. Well, it might be a little bit light today, and that's okay. So you guys are here, and you're here. You're here, I'm here, we're all here. Doodle was here. He's not here now. All right, we'll just go ahead and get started. It's, we usually start about quarter after, but if people trickle in, people trickle in. It's a semi-arid state. Yeah, well, Southern California was like a semi-desert. And, you see pictures of like all those big tall palm trees in Southern California, in the LA area, they're not native. And then you have these huge eucalyptus trees. They're not, the only tree that's native to the LA area, the LA basin, is the Washingtonian palm. They don't really grow that big, but they're the only native tree to that area. So everything else was brought in. A lot of places like that. When I lived in Portland had an autumn very similar to New England. So where the leaves change color and fall, the maples, they change color and fall, but the maples aren't native to the Pacific Northwest. Pacific Northwest are pines and evergreens and things along those lines. And the maples were not native to the Portland area, but they were brought in probably because Portland specifically, but Oregon in general, was founded by people from New England. And so I'm sure they brought the maple trees with them so that it would remind them of New England falls. But you mess with the climate or the what do you call that, environment, and you suffer the consequences. Like right now in the Portland area, they have a major problem with ivy. Ivy has taken over everything. It chokes the trees, kills the trees. And so like, I remember one time I wanted to get ivy for the house that I had up there. I wanted to get ivy for the house. And I went to a nursery and I asked them, I said, do you have any ivy? And they go, oh no, that's illegal. I'm like, what? It's like, it's illegal. You can't sell ivy in Portland. I don't know if it's all of Oregon, but in Portland, because it's just gone, it's invasive, and it's choked out all the native plants and stuff. So yeah, a lot of fun. Mess with the environment. That's what it is. All right. So let's get started. And we're going to start with this. This was a gift for my birthday, which was last week. last week, not this past week, but the week before was my birthday. And I got this as a gift. I think it was Martha that gave me this. Forgive me if I'm mistaken that, but this is the company or the product line is Andina. This is a beer, and you'll see here it says refajo. So refajo is a Colombian drink, and typically it is made with half beer, half soda. And typically that beer is like Aguila, which is the most popular beer in Colombia, and the soda is Colombiana. And Colombiana, they call like it's a champagne cola. It's almost like a. I'm trying to think of what the closest thing that you might be able to relate that to, like a cream soda, maybe, probably close to a cream soda. So typically refajo is made again with Aguila beer and Colombiana, but it doesn't have to be. It can really be anything. Now, so Andina is the product line. This Andina, the company that makes Andina, is the same company that makes Postobón sodas, and so this Andina is made with manzana Postobón. Manzana being apple, and apple Postobón is one of their, like the flavor everybody raves about, the apple flavored Postobón. And so you might say, well, why would they go with an apple Postobón instead of the Colombiana? Well, it turns out that Postobón owns or Postobón makes both the regular Postobón soda and Colombiana, and so and they own the Andina. And so if they want to put some other kind of soda in there and use some other kind of beer, more power to them. Speaking of invasive species, have you ever eaten kudzu? I didn't know you could eat kudzu. I'm not sure if kudzu is edible. I have not eaten it, but I need to. Only because I never met a food I didn't want to eat. Hey, Adam Heb is here. His bi-monthly live stream. Ha 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 ha. I explained earlier, Adam. So the first week was because it was Super Bowl weekend. It's not that I had something to do or whatever. I just figured that everybody was going to be busy with Super Bowl parties, and like even if you weren't into the Super Bowl, that you might be going to a Super Bowl party. There might be one at your house. You might have to do prep for it or something like that. And so I figured let everybody have their Super Bowl. It was also Julie's birthday, but and then last week I was traveling. So I was in Bogota last week for the weekend. I think we went down there on Friday, came back on Monday. So I was down there and logistically just couldn't live stream. So that's what it was. But glad you could make it, Adam. So for our bi-monthly live stream. Hopefully it won't be like that. All right. Anyways, so getting back to our adult beverage again, a very small can. Now, here's the funny thing about this is that you'll notice that it has one of the warnings on it. It's excess sugar, and typically down at the bottom, the Board of Health has that warning on alcoholic beverages that say, the Board of Health has determined that this is excess alcohol. The reason this one, it doesn't have that warning on it is because this is 1.8 ABV, 1.8. Now, typically refajo is half beer, half soda, which probably explains why it's only 1.8% ABV. But apparently that's not enough alcohol for the Colombian Board of Health to be concerned about excess alcohol. So again, this is Andina beer with manzana, which is apple, Postobón, which is popular soda. So Andina was made, or is made by Central Cervecería de Colombia, which was founded in 2014 as a joint venture between Postobón and in Colombia and Compañía Cervecerías Unidas of Chile in Bogota, Colombia. So a Chilean company and Postobón kind of became this joint venture, which made Central Cervecería de Colombia, which makes Andina. And again, because it's owned by Postobón, that's why they have the Postobón soda in there. So since one half of that comes from Chile, or one half of the company is from Chile, let's ask a Chile question. What is the Mapuche translation, which is a indigenous tribe to Chile? What is the Mapuche translation for the name of the country of Chile? And I'll give you a clue up front. It's not hot pepper. So what is the Mapuche translation for the country of Chile's name? All right. Anyways, I have a question. My work sells duck bacon, and it's almost $12 more than other bacon. Why is that? Because duck is expensive. Any kind of duck fat, duck, roast duck, fresh duck. It's a lot more expensive because you don't have. I mean, like you buy chicken. Chicken's going to come from a fat. For the most part, like if it's, I don't know, like Foster Farms or something like that. It's a huge conglomerate. It's like acres and acres and acres of chickens, right? And so just by sheer volume, it's cheaper. But ducks, you can't raise ducks the same way. And so ducks are from farms. They don't raise ducks the same way. And so anything with duck in it is going to be more expensive. So $12 more probably because, again, places that make bacon are set up to make bacon. Places that make duck bacon are like niche places. So that's probably why it's a lot more expensive. That's my guess, anyways. I can't be absolutely certain, but that's my guess. All right, so let's go ahead and crack this open and give this a shot. 5 pounds of rendered duck fat typically costs between $40 and $60 plus. Yeah, of course. However, that flavor, oh my God, that flavor. There is and I'm sure they're not the only ones doing it, but there is a place called Boise Fry Company. They're from Boise, Idaho. And so the first one, they branched out. They're in a couple of other states right now. I know that there's one in Portland, Oregon, or there was one in Portland, Oregon. But Claudia and I, one time, went up to Boise, Idaho. And we found this place, Boise Fry Company, and they have all kinds of different potatoes, fries made from different potatoes. But one of the dishes on their menu was the bourgeois, is what they call it, the bourgeois. And the bourgeois were fries that were fried in duck fat with truffle salt, and they were a life-changing experience. But again, fried in duck fat is going to be very, very expensive. So more expensive French fries. Worked for a guy that used duck fat to cook his fries. Yeah, exactly. So that's one use for it. Hey, Joshua Maxwell is here. Welcome, Joshua. Joshua, I had a question for you about one of your videos, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, well. Maybe it'll come to me later. So what happens when you get old? All right, let's see. All right. So you'll notice that this is again, I'm going to remind you, this is refajo. It's not necessarily beer. It is beer mixed with soda. The reason it is this pink color is because the Postobón, the manzana Postobón is that color. So that's actually coloring the beer. It's an apple soda and it's got a kind of a pink color. So interesting. It has a beer smell. I'm not getting an apple smell, but I'm definitely getting a beer smell. All right, let's try this. So the odd thing about refajo is, like, I remember the first time I tried refajo, and I wasn't crazy about it because the sweetness kind of throws you. You're putting in a soda. This isn't like a zero or or something with stevia in it or something. It's I don't know in Colombia if they do high fructose corn syrup or sugar. Let's check, because this is going to be our soft drink. Let's see if the ingredients are sugar. Yeah, sugar. So not stevia, not our artificial sweetener or anything. So so you're mixing half beer and half soda that has sugar in it. So it's going to be sweet. And again, the first time I tried this, it kind of threw me off a little bit because you get the taste of the beer with the taste of the soda, with the sweetness of the soda, kind of throws you off a little bit. It took me a little bit getting used to refajo. But the reason that I'm doing this one today is because, again, I've never had this refajo. I've never had the Andina beer, and I've never had refajo made with the apple Postobón. That is kind of like, so it doesn't have that beer bite. It does have that sweetness, but at the same time, it's kind of like the beer kind of takes away from that soda flavor. It's like in this nether region between beer and soda, where it's kind of neither and a little bit of both. It's very interesting with the apple flavor because, typically, there's beers that have other, like a shandy, which typically will have like lemonade in it or lemon flavor. There's like a grapefruit rattlers that have like this grapefruit flavor and everything. But it's very, very unusual to find a beer that has a, apple flavor. I've never heard of one. So this is actually pretty good. Yeah, I think I don't know if I like it more than the Colombiana, the one with the champagne cola or not, but I like it, and I'm going to give it a thumbs up. And again, this is something like typically if you go over to somebody's house in Colombia and they're going to make some sort of alcoholic beverage, they're going to typically make refajo, and they probably make it themselves, But this is in a can already made for you. Let's see. I just wanted to cover. Ice Hand said, Google says kudzu is highly nutritious, packed with protein, and used in various culinary applications from tea and jelly to fried dishes. Now I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to find kudzu. Let's see. Did I miss anything? I want to try it, but I'm not spending $20 on bacon. Yeah, well, especially if you try it and you decide, what else can I make from this except just fry it as bacon? You'll want to be able to use it in other recipes and everything. My suggestion, Adam, would be to find some other people that would be interested in trying it, and everybody kick in like $5. Maybe 4 people kick in $5, and then everybody gets a little bit of the bacon and can do what they want with it. That would work, I think. I've done that before with kopi luwak. So kopi luwak is the coffee that is filtered through a palm civet, which is an animal. I think we've told the story before. In the Indonesian coffee plantations, there's an animal called the palm civet, and they like the coffee cherries, which is the fruit that's around the coffee bean. The coffee bean being the seed inside that cherry. And they eat it, and then it goes through their system. The enzymes in their digestive system neutralize the acid in the coffee, and it makes a really smooth cup of coffee. So the beans were about $150 a pound. I think there was 5 of us chipped in for it, and so we'd all drink it together. We bought a new coffee machine. We only used distilled water. We didn't use soap on the cups, and I think it worked out to about $5 per cup, which is like what you're going to pay for a cup of coffee at like some place like Starbucks. But it was kopi luwak, and whereas it goes through the animal, you would think it would have some sort of like biological flavor, and it does not. It was probably the most mellow cup of coffee I ever had in my life. Apple beer, we talked about that one. Oh, we did talk about that because did we not do a or we were going to? I think we were going to do a collaboration drinking the apple beer, but it was hard to find. I mean, there's a apple soda they call apple beer, and then there's actually apple beer, but maybe it was that we couldn't find it or something. I can't remember offhand. All right. So the question earlier was, what was the Mapuche translation for the country of Chile's name? Let's see. Did anybody even answer that? Janice is not here yet, so I know she didn't answer that question. It looks like nobody answered that question, but that's okay. The Mapuche translation for the name of the country of Chile is "where the land ends," and you can understand that because if you go south enough in Chile, you come to, I guess, the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. You know where they meet, unless there's the Antarctic Ocean, but it's, you know, it's way down there. All right, this actually grows on you. The aftertaste is the soda. I was gonna say Chili Mountain. That would work too. Alrighty, so now let's try our first snack. And I'm gonna do this because I wanna get this one sort of out of the way. Wait a minute, let me just, okay. All right. Hey, it is Janice. I'm at Knott's Peanut. Of course you are, Janice, with a friend, so I'm only going to check in. But you're here, and I think that's the important thing. So Janice, have fun, and we'll talk to you when you pop in. We noticed you didn't answer the trivia question, so you know we figured it was something like that. All right, so we're going to do this first. This is a fruit that's grown here in Colombia, and this is called feijoa. It's Feijoa, feijoa. And the English name for it, the English nickname for this is pineapple guava. It is not a guava. It is a member of the myrtle family, and not, you know, somebody named Myrtle. But it is a South American, specifically a South American fruit. I don't know that it's grown outside of this area, but it is named. This fruit is named for. I'm going to say this wrong because not Brazilian, what do you call that? Portuguese. My Portuguese isn't great. I believe it's Hoa, J-O-A with the thing O, Hoa, maybe Joa. I don't know. Joa de Silva Feijo. He was the one who this fruit was named after. So here's a question for you. Hoa de Silva Feijo. What was his occupation? What was the occupation of Hoa de Silva Feijo? What made him so important that they named a fruit after him? Now, they say that you can eat the skin, but most people cut it open and kind of scoop out the insides and eat that. We're going to do both, but we're going to do eat the insides first, just in case the outside might be a little bitter or chewy or something like. We don't want it to take away from our enjoyment. It does kind of look like a guava on the inside. Here's that cross section. And I guess we'll find out why they call it pineapple guava in a second. Just gonna spoon that out. Now, I think I haven't had the fruit before, but I've had a byproduct of the fruit before. There's an alcoholic beverage that they make here that is made with feijoa. It does look a little bit like a fig, yeah. Hoeing the fields. Ooh, I can see why they compare it to a guava. It does have a very similar taste to a guava. It's like, to me, they call it pineapple guava, but it doesn't taste like pineapple to me. To me, it's more like, the flavor is more like a cross between banana and guava. All right, so they say you can eat the skin, so we're going to try that. I'm just going to take a bite of this. Oh, okay. It might be my imagination, but it seems like there's more flavor in the skin than there is in the fruit. Oh my God, Tom, kumquats are back? Yeah. When you eat it with the skin, it totally changes the flavor. The flavor profile is completely different when you eat it with the skins. So there's a little bit, like a tiny bit of sourness to it. It still has that kind of, it still has that guava / banana taste to it. It's really interesting. Now the thing is, you got to buy a lot of those to, for it to be any kind of substantial snack or anything. I might be going on a limb here, You know, unless there's an easy way to peel it, obviously, because you don't want to cook with it and leave the skin on it. But it seems to me like that would make a really interesting pie. Now, because you'd have to use so many of them, maybe like one of those little tarts, you know, little tart pies and everything. But yeah, I think so. All right. The question was, what was the occupation of Hoa de Silva Feijoa, for whom the fruit is named? I love Tom's answer. He was famous for finding new ways to get kumquats. Kumquats is back. There was a couple of other answers here. Icehan said he was a farmer. He was great at hoeing the fields. He was actually a Portuguese naturalist. He was a famous Portuguese naturalist, and they named the fruit after him. Makes sense, right? All righty. So Icehand asks, did you ever go back to the guy who sold you the unripe fruit from a few episodes ago? That was the pomegranate, the unripe. He goes, oh no, you can eat it. You can eat it like that. It's just green. Yeah, you can eat it like that. And then it was like a mouthful of bitter, like torture. Yeah, I went back and I punched him in the jimmy. So you did do that. No, I didn't. I didn't do that. I'm just never going to buy pomegranates from him again. Although I did discover that I think we have a pomegranate bush in the yard. So we're going to get the real thing and wait till it turns red. I think that's what we're going to do. All righty. So that's our first snack. When I got some more, you know what? No, I got to save it because today we're going to do goop mélange. We will not be denied our goop. All right. So our second snack on the list, let's see. Again, we're going to go back into our Trader Joe Boston grab bag. This I thought was interesting because I think it's going to be like an Oreo that I like. And I'm just saying that I've never tried this before, so maybe I won't like it, but I think I probably will. And this is from Lotte, Lotte. Lotte is a German woman's name, Lotte. And I can't remember exactly when they founded the company why they chose that name, but it is a German name for a German woman's name. They chose that name. I think it was like a character in a movie or something like that. So these are Lotte pineapple sandwich cookies. They're made with pineapple juice powder. And Lotte, I think if you've ever been in an Asian grocery, you've probably seen other products from Lotte. We've probably done other products from Lotte on the live stream, one of our live streams. Lotte was founded in 1948 by Korean businessman Shin Kyuk-ho in Tokyo, Japan. And I think eventually he went back to Tokyo, but it was originally founded in Tokyo, Japan in 1948. And again, the company is Lotte, which is a German woman's name. There it is right there, Lotte. Not latte, Lotte. So as long as we're talking about a German woman's name, Lotte, what song, and this is like really going out there for trivia, what song mentions Austrian singer Lotte Lenya by name? Lotte Lenya is mentioned specifically by name in a particular song. There were two versions of the song. The original version of the song did not have that name in it, but two later versions actually did have that name in it. What song mentions Austrian singer Lotte Lenya? Now let's get this open and try us some pineapple made with, what did I say? Pineapple juice powder. Better than the artificial flavors of, oh look, individual little packs. That's nice. And it's no secret to anybody here how much I dislike Oreos. There's been a few that I think have been pretty decent, but in general, I just hate that crystally kind of filling that they put in there. Who knows? Maybe. Well, Frank Zappa, I don't think sang wider. So there were other people in Frank Zappa's band that did vocals, and it was not always Frank Zappa. Like I think Lowell George, when he was in Frank Zappa's band, he sang like San Bernardino and a couple of the other songs. He's had a bunch of different singers. But you know, he has a mistaken voice. So like he's done, what did he do? St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast, Nanook of the North. He obviously the voice on those. Somebody else sang Valley Girl. But he may not be the best singer ever, but he is a vastly underrated guitarist. All right, there we go. Let's open that up. They're a lot smaller than Oreos, which is good because then you don't have to eat a lot of them. Portmanteau is here. Welcome, Portmanteau. Glad you could make it. Terry Bozzio sometimes. I know Terry Bozzio played drums for him, and I didn't realize that he actually sang as well. I think Terry Bozzio was in the band when I saw Frank Zappa back in 1977, before most of you were born. I saw Frank Zappa at the Music Hall in Boston in 1977. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Terry Bozzio was playing drums with him then. Nice smell. I think let's just try the cookie. Yeah, you knew when he sang. He always had a very distinctive voice. That very low, like he had kind of a bass voice, I think. Maybe a little bit higher, maybe a baritone or something. Destined to take the place of the mud shark in your mythology. Here we go. Rubs it. That's nice. I was in Boston in 1977. I like this. I like these a lot. The pineapple flavor is not over the top. It's not like you can really taste the pineapple in there. You can taste pineapple in there, but it's not like a mouthful of pineapple. It doesn't have that acidic tartness that pineapple does. The cream filling I really like because it's very, very smooth and creamy. Not like an Oreo where it's kind of like you get those sugar crystals, whatever it is. It's kind of gritty. Nice smell. I like the blonde cookies or gold cookies, whatever you want to call these. I like these. The form was like that. Those are thumbs up. Oreo could take a lesson from them, I think. Very good. All right. So our question was, what song mentions Austrian singer Lotte? Iceland said 99 Luftballons. Good guess. We wouldn't know if that wasn't the case. Adam Hebb said, Why Does It Hurt When I Pee by Frank Zappa. Tom says Nina Hagen, also a good guess. Portmanteau says Adrian Belew, also a good guess, I guess. Oh, no, I think he was talking about Adrian Belew singing for Frank Zappa, which he did. So the song that mentions Austrian singer Lotte was Mac the Knife. It wasn't the original version of Mac the Knife, but it was the Louis Armstrong 1956 version and the Bobby Darin 1959 version. Both of them mentioned Lotte. Look out, Miss Lotte and old Lucy Brown. So Lotte was mentioned in the song Mac the Knife. The most popular Mac the Knife that still gets played on radio today and gets covered incessantly by wedding bands. All righty. So that's 2 snacks down. We're into our 3rd snack. Back into our Trader Joe's Boston bag. What do we got next? Oh, we have these. These are interesting. Now, I saw these, and I was interested in these because they look like rice cakes, but they're not rice cakes. Technically, they're corn cakes. So these are they're tostadas de maíz, which is toasted corn, or tostadas of corn, but it's toasted corn without sugar, gluten-free. Let's see. Without sugar always makes me nervous. Ingredients: corn, and salt. That's it. Corn and salt, the only ingredients in here. And these are Natri. Natri is the product line. It's a product line of Day Uno, which is D1, but down here everyone calls it Day Uno. Day Uno was founded in 2009 by Michael Olmi and Luis Abudel in Medellin, Colombia. So Day Uno is it's a chain of they're kind of like I don't even call them convenience stores. They're a little bit bigger than convenience stores, but they have like you get tools there, you get meat there, you can get like diapers there, you can get lawn stuff there. So the store is called Day Uno, but what does the D stand for in Day Uno? Again, we would call it D1, D and the number 1. What does the D stand for in Day Uno? All right, so we're going to try these, and I have a good feeling about these. Again, the only ingredients are corn and salt. Juicy brown. Oh, no, I think Juicy Brown is a kind of hamburger. Well, that's Juicy Lucy. Well, it's just Lucy Brown. Good thing I brought scissors. All righty. Smells like corn puffs. Obviously without the sugar, but it smells like corn puffs. And anyone ever had that? Here's a question for you guys. What is your favorite breakfast cereal? If you have a favorite breakfast cereal, what is your favorite breakfast cereal? See if we can do that. It's kind of a lot of glare on that. One looks like a rice cake, but it's corn. It's a little bit thinner, I think, than a rice cake. Tastes like crunchy popcorn. I'm assuming you mean like a hot bowl of oatmeal, Tom, right? Miguel, when did you sneak into the room? I just saw your name there. I remember sugar smacks. They still call them sugar smacks? Now, the difference between this and a rice cake is this has a little bit of like chewiness to it. It's much denser. There's not as much air. I mean, it's obviously air popped, but it's much denser. And again, there has to be like air popped because there's no oil or anything in here. Peanut butter Captain Crunch. I got to be honest with you, portmanteau. I've never had any Captain Crunch besides the original Captain Crunch. I've never tried any of the other ones, like with crunch berries, but there's a bunch of different ones. Or there's the oops, I did it again one. I can't remember what that one is. And then there's the chocolate one. And the chocolate one's disturbing because on the box, on the outside of the box, it says, "Chocolatize me, Captain." That's disturbing. Oh, steel cut oats, like the Irish ones, Tom. Still, to this day, I will have a bowl of oatmeal in the morning. So basically, Tom, do you put milk and sugar in your oatmeal? I know a lot of people put milk on it. Some people put sugar on it. With me, and we're talking hot oatmeal, I still have it like almost every day. Lately, I've been eating eggs and stuff, but when I do eat a lot of oatmeal, and when I eat it, what do I put in it? I put in cinnamon, a little bit of cayenne pepper. That's right, cayenne pepper. We can explain. I can talk about that later if you want. Strawberries, blueberries, almonds, walnuts, and sometimes banana. That's what I'll put in it. And I don't put milk or sugar or anything on it. Golden grams mixed with cinnamon toast crunch together. That's interesting. And welcome, Nashies. Glad you could make it. Okay, let's see. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. That's interesting, Nashies, that you have a combo. Now, so my question is, like, do you put milk and sugar on your cereal? I used to put, when I was a kid, we put milk and sugar on it because that's what you were supposed to do, right? They told you you're supposed to put milk and sugar on your cereal. Now, as I got older, I stopped putting sugar on it. So if I'm going to have breakfast cereal, I would put milk on it, but I don't put cereal on. And then my lactose intolerance has forced me to only either use lactose-free milk or oat milk or something like that, just because I pay for it later. Now, portmanteau, you mentioned peanut butter Captain Crunch, and we'll talk about Captain Crunch in general. I like the flavor of Captain Crunch. I do not like to eat Captain Crunch because I think there should be a warning on the box of Captain Crunch, like caution, this cereal contains broken glass. Because I don't know about you guys, but my experience with Captain Crunch is it always chews up my mouth. It always chews up the inside of my mouth, especially like the roof of my mouth. So it stays crunchy even in milk. Yeah, because it's made with like rocks. It's gravel or something, it's just like, it just chews up the inside of your mouth. Now, while I like the flavor, the, that kind of like eats at the inside of your mouth thing, I'm not really crazy about. Just milk. When I was a kid, I put sugar on my faucet. You put sugar on something with sugar on it. So like double the sugar. Yeah, I never really put, I don't now put sugar on my Frosted Flakes. Now, my favorite cereal, I might have mentioned this before. We'll test this theory in a second. My favorite cereal. Does anybody out there ever remember me mentioning what my favorite breakfast cereal to this day, my favorite breakfast cereal is? My mom would bring this one home when we were kids. I mean, we've tried I think like Cocoa Krispies. I don't know if do they make Cocoa Krispies anymore or Cocoa. Well, they do make Cocoa Puffs because they're crazy for Cocoa Puffs. They used to have this thing called Puff of Rice. That was one of them. Sugar Smacks. Yeah, all different. Quisp and Quake. You guys don't remember that one. Those have been gone for a long time. But Tom, you hit the nail on the head. Shredded wheat, my favorite. I love shredded wheat. To this very day, I love shredded wheat. The big biscuit, the mini ones are okay. I'll eat the mini ones, but I like that big biscuit, the big shredded wheat biscuit and everything. Love it to this day. And I used to, like I said, my mom would bring those home. We would eat them when we were kids. But I really like those. The peanut butter ones have better texture. Oh, okay. So less of a chance of your mouth bleeding eating the peanut butter ones. I'll have to remember that. You remember Puff of Rice? Yeah. Yeah, they used to have like kind of a Hawaiian theme or something. And I remember the TV commercial would have some guy on a surfboard, Puff of Rice. I remember all those old TV commercials, and some of them were really ridiculous, and some of them were very questionable. Or like some of them, you'd have a hard time getting away with it today. Let's get back to our toasted corn, our toasted corn snacks. So those are very good. They're more like a palette. Like I could see using that to put this stuff, like sort of like you do with a rice cake when you put peanut butter on a rice cake. I think that those would be very similar. If you want, I'm calling it a low calorie snack, but I don't know if it is. Let's see. Portion. Four of these is one portion, and one portion is 362 calories. So 362 divided by 4, my math sucks. I can't figure that out. I'm going to round up to 400 and say they're about 100. Oh, no. I take that back. That's per 100 grams. Per portion, it's 100. So it's 100 for four of these, 100 for 4 of these, which would be 20 calories, right? My math, 20 calories per cracker. That's pretty good. So again, I think they're more, I wouldn't mind snacking on those, but I think they're more suited for putting things they're like peanut butter or something like that on it. But they're actually pretty good. 25, you're right. 100 divided by 4 is 25, not 20. Absolutely. Oh, they're 25 calories. I can't afford that. So I could when it was 20. But I can't when it's 25. So, yep, that is a thumbs up. I found the golden thumb. Be good for dipping. It would be good for dipping. How would that be with like salsa? How would that be with salsa? I wonder. Hummus. Be good with hummus. All right. Our question was, what does the D stand for in de uno? I don't think anybody guessed. Oh, yes. Isan guessed. He said the D stands for D's nuts. No, it doesn't. But kind of wish it did. The D stands for descuenta, which is discount. So it is one of the largest discounts. I think it is the largest discount store in all of Colombia. But the D stands for descuenta. Descuenta uno. De uno. Yeah, discount. All right. Let's see. That was 1, 2, 3 snacks. One more snack, and then we get into our soft drink. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. We are doing perfectly on time. Okay, back into our Trader Joe's Boston bag. Now, I'm going to tell you, all bets are off with this. I have no idea what these are. I can only go by the description. Now, again, a lot of these, like this one, the pineapple sandwich cookie from Lotte, and what else? And these I got at Y&Y in Colombia. Now, if you go to an Asian grocery in the United States, typically they're going to have even if it's like a little sticker that tells you what the ingredients are in here. No, and it tells you what the product is and everything. In Colombia, when you go to an Asian grocery, it's everything's in Asian. So your friend is the camera in Google Translate. And I use that to figure out that the company is Haitai, and these are called grilled baked potato snacks. Now, I think it said that it's like potato powder, that they use potato powder or anything. I don't know how this works, but they're calling them grilled baked potato snacks. Have no idea what they look like and everything. I was going by that little thing. That doesn't look like a potato, but that's kind of what they gave us. So Haitai was founded in 1945 by Park Byung-gu in Seoul, Korea. It was acquired by Crown Confectionery in 2005. So again, I guess it's supposed to taste like baked potatoes. We shall see. So as long as we're on the subject of potatoes, let me ask you this question. What is the name of the dish? And this is an American dish, so it should be a little bit easier. What is the name of the dish made from unpeeled potato halves, hollowed and topped with bacon, cheddar cheese, and green onions before being baked again? So they take, it's either halves or quarters, and then they bake that for a little bit, and then they top it with bacon, cheddar cheese, and green onions or chives. And they put it back in the oven and they bake it a little bit more. What is that dish called? There was a place when I was growing up in the Boston area, when I was an adult in the Boston area, we would go to this place called the Worst House. And that's W-U-R-S-T, not W-O-R-S-T. The Worst House, which was in in Harvard Square in Cambridge. And they had this dish, and they were famous for this dish and how good this dish was. And so we would go there a lot. I think that Ground Round in the Boston area had it. I don't know that it's specific to the Boston area. I don't think it is, but a lot of the pub type places like Fridays, those kind of places. I think Fridays actually serve those. So it's a pretty common dish. Well, it was a pretty common dish. All right, that's interesting. Ooh, an English word. Other. I don't know what other is. Hey, the only Mursk. Well, they're like Pocky. That's bizarre. Care for a smoke? That is bizarre. I thought I'm looking at the picture here, and I'm thinking that they're going to be these little round things, and they're not these little round things. They're sticks. Let's see if this tastes like. They look like pretzels. You can't tell me it's not a pretzel. It looks like a pretzel or like a breadstick. Oh, that is crunchy. Ooh, that is nice too. Tastes buttery. I'm getting a butter flavor there. There's a nice level of salt on there. It's not salty, but you can taste the salt on there. Nice. Yeah, big crunch. Can you hear that out there? It's like eating rocks. Those are loud. All right. I'm not getting baked potato from that. I am not getting baked potato from that at all. I'm getting some potato flavor from that. I'm getting the butteriness. I'm getting the saltiness. They're really nice, but I don't get the baked potato thing, you know. But you know, I never had a baked potato in Asia either, so or in Korea. Maybe that's what they think baked potato tastes like. Baked potato is not that crunchy. If it is, you have a serious problem. I like those. I'm going to give them a thumbs up. I'm tempted to do the thumbs up trending downward a little bit because it doesn't taste like a baked potato, but I don't care because they're really, really good. You know, I love pretzels. This is not like a pretzel per se, but I really like that. I'm going to be deboning some chicken so I can't type for. So if you're going to debone chicken, don't you have to bone it first and then debone it? Is that how that works? Okay, so the question was, what is the name of the dish made from unpeeled potato halves, hollowed and topped with bacon, cheddar cheese, and green onions before being baked again? Ice Hand said potato skins. And it looks like Ice Hand is the only one that answered that. And you are absolutely correct, Ice Hand. They are called potato skins. Some people call them potato jackets. I've never heard them called that when I used to order those and eat those. But potato skins. I love me some potato skins. When's the last time I had potato skins? Oh, I'd have to go back and check. You guys remember, I think maybe it was last year, I did an episode at Ground Round. And it was a big deal for me because Ground Round was kind of like one of those pub type places, one of those Fridays kind of places. But they were really, really popular in New England, in Massachusetts specifically. And then they just kind of went away with them. But they just reopened one in Tewksbury or Shrewsbury. I can't remember which one it was, Tewksbury, Shrewsbury. But anyway, we did an episode over there. And if I'm not mistaken, we got potato skins there. I think we did. I'll have to go back and watch the episode. Chickens come pre-boned. Then you have to bone them and then debone them. I don't know how that works. I don't know. That's my command of the English language. All right. So that takes care of our first 4 snacks, which means that it is time for our soft drink. Now, if you remember that, I need to take another sip of that. So those of you who came in afterwards, this is our adult beverage, and this is Andina refajo. Refajo being a drink that they drink in Colombia, which is made with half beer, half soda. Typically, it is, whatever beer you have on hand. Aguila is the most popular beer in Colombia, so they usually use that, and they use Colombiana, which is the soda. This is different. The beer is Andina, and the soda that they use is manzana Postobón, which is apple-flavored soda from Postobón. And it's okay because Postobón owns Colombiana as well, or that's one of their product lines. And that's why it's pink. The more I drink that, the more I like it. All right, so let's go to, so again, remember, our adult beverage had manzana Postobón, which is apple-flavored Postobón soda. And so for our soft drink, we're going to drink another Postobón soda, and this is uva. We've done, I think, 1 or 2 maybe Postobón sodas for live streams previously. I think we did the manzana one. I think we had the manzana one for previous live streams. But since we're doing Postobón anyway, I thought we would do another Postobón soda that we haven't had. And this one is uva. Anyone good at Spanish? Anyone can tell me what uva is? Anybody? I don't know, only Mersk, when I'll be coming back. So I kind of go back and forth, and it's just wherever the wind takes me. So I'm not sure. maybe March, April, maybe in that time frame. Don't know. I'm just like a butterfly on the wind. Anybody know uva? What uva is? Look at the color. Should tell you. Little hint. The color. Anybody? Are we live? Is this thing on? Is it on? Did we lose it? Anybody out there? Hasselback potatoes or crunchy baked potatoes? Oh, I don't think I've ever had that. I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've ever had Hasselback potatoes or anything like that. You're there. Okay. Yes, it is purple. It is not, purple is not a flavor. I don't think. Might be. It is grape. Uva is grape. So this is uva Postobón soda made here in Colombia. And is this, let's see, azúcar, sugar. Syllabus. There we go. I haven't had grape soda in a long time. Ooh, that's like a plastic smell. It's kind of weird. Well, I mean, you know, it's in this bottle. You can see what color it is. It's a dark purple color. Here we go. Cheers. I didn't ask a question. So Postobón, who makes this, Postobón was founded in 1904 by Gabriel Posada and Valerio Tobón. The P-O-S, Tobón, Postobón. It's a portmanteau of their names. It was founded in 1904 by Gabriel Posada and Valerio Tobón in Medellin, Colombia. Postobón's first product was called Cola Champaña. They still make it, but it's called something different. So what is that product currently called? Their first product was called Cola Champaña. What is it currently called? Cheers. Or cheers, as they say in Boston. That is kind of a funky grape soda. I don't know. I'm not getting that grape. I'm getting that grape flavor, but it tastes artificial. Let's see, does it have artificial flavorings? There's no warning on it, and they would have a warning if it had artificial flavoring. I think. Let's see. Let's see. Ingredients. Carbonated water, sugar, sabonis artificiales y natural and artificial flavors. Sabores. Yeah, I guess you have to guess which is the natural and which is artificial. I'm getting more of the artificial flavor than I'm getting the natural flavor, I think, which is unfortunate. Campo. Champagne. I don't know. I like some of their other flavors better. This one is kind of like, it's like fake grape. I'm getting more like fake grape. So I'm getting more of the artificial flavor than the actual grape flavor on there. I've had more grapey grape sodas. So I'm going to give that a thumbs in the middle. Thumbs in the middle on that one. Not great. But here's what I'm going to do. Again, it's a Postobón soda, just like in the refajo. Since the refajo has Postobón soda in it, let's do this. I don't know if it's going to improve it, make it worse. It's probably going to taste more like soda than beer. Well, let's try that. No, it's okay. It's not horrible. There's no beer flavor at all. So I just like killed the beer flavor completely with the soda. But that artificial grape flavor kind of comes to the front on that, and it kind of, ruins the other one. So I'll have the Nuka grape soda to try. I thought you did all the Fallout sodas. Didn't you already do all the Fallout sodas? Nashies. It's okay. Good thing we don't judge that. So the mixed drink, it's okay. I'm not crazy about that artificial grape flavor. And I'm kind of surprised because usually the Postobón sodas are really good. Now, our question was, Postobón's first product was called Cola Champagne. What is it currently called? Nashi said Campane. I don't know. It's a different pronunciation. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and call that Colombiana. Colombiana. If you go into the grocery store now, I think even some of the large groceries, not necessarily Latin American groceries, the large groceries will carry that as well. Colombiana, if you see that, they consider it champagne cola, but it was Postobón's first product in 1904. Nashi's, now usually Jones does a really good job at their sodas. Their sodas are usually pretty good. I'm going to guess that Nuka grape soda is going to taste a lot better than that Postobón grape soda does. All right. Enough of that nonsense. All right, so here we go. Now we're back into our second round of snacks. These look interesting. So the brand is Del Campo. Although I've seen some stuff say Deli Campo, D-E-L-I, Deli Campo. But it is, on the package here, Del Campo. Del Campo. These are huevo frito gourmet chips. So supposedly they taste like fried eggs, but we shall see. This is from Snacks de Colombia. And Snacks de Colombia, or Del Campo Snacks, was founded in 2017 by Jairo Enrique Quiroz and Jorge Luis Quiroz in Chía, Colombia. Chía, Colombia. It's an actual name of the city. Here's a question about chia. From what plant are chia seeds harvested? It's not the chia plant. From what plant are chia seeds harvested? All right. So let's see. There's some English on here. Potato, vegetable oils, and fried egg flavor. Ready to consume. Well, I hope so. Eat before the expiration date indicated on the package. I'd have to find it, and I cannot. So I guess it's okay. Yeah, let's just get into it. We're done unboning. Must be disappointing. Now you will notice this is a product of Colombia. There's no warnings on here, so it must be good for you. You see those little black octagons run away. Ooh, ooh, ooh. They're skin on potatoes, very rustic looking. I don't know. I'm getting like a heavy fried egg flavor here. It's like the fried white part of the egg, albumin, I think is what it's called. It's kind of like you get the flavor that the white part of the egg, but not the yolk necessarily. These are not greasy. They're just lightly salted, which is why there's no warnings on there. There's not excess saturated fat, excess salt, or excess sodium. They're nice chips. They really are. And again, it tastes like the white part of an egg. You're not really getting the yolk part of the egg. I think it would be nice. Put these on a plate and put a fried egg on top of it. These are really nice. They're crunchy. They're not soggy. I gotta stop. Those are really good. All right, they taste like half a fried egg. It tastes like the white half of a fried egg. Still going to get a thumbs up for me. Those are nice. Those are really nice. Okay, so the question was, from what plant are chia seeds harvested? Tom said the salvia plant. And Nashi says, I think chia is in the mint family. Yes, you're both correct. So the specific salvia plant, because there's a lot of plants in salvia. Yeah, there's a lot of salvia plants. It is the Salvia hispanica, and it is a member of the mint family. So you are both correct. But there is the company is from Chia, Colombia. Chia is just on the outskirts of Bogota. It's an interesting little town, village, I guess, city. Who really knows? I don't. All right. So let's see what's next on our hit parade. These are pretty straightforward. Some kind of odd aftertaste of those chips. Not sure what it is. They're nice though. All right. So the company is called Manitoba, and these are mix platanitos, which is like plantains, but little plantains, a little plantain mix. So this is Manitoba platanitos mix. And Manitoba was founded in 1987 by Gustavo and Ignacio Dominguez, the Dominguez brothers, Gustavo and Ignacio in Cali, Colombia. Not Cali like short for California, Cali like the city of Cali. And so the Dominguez brothers, back in 1987, founded the company. They chose the name of Manitoba. But why did they specifically choose the name Manitoba? And anybody, I'll give you a clue, it has something to do with a Spanish word, Manitoba. Because Manitoba is a city in Canada, not in Colombia. But they didn't want to name it after a city in Colombia or themselves, because back in the 1980s, especially that they were in Cali, Colombia, it wasn't safe to identify yourself to everybody on a product. All right, here we go. So this contains, let's see, what is in here? It's because it is a snack mix. This has, let's see, ingredients. Croutons de plátano. Plátano croutons. Maybe croutons means something else in Spanish. Maybe it's not necessarily like the croutons we put on a salad. Croutons de plátano. Let's see what else. Mani salado, which is salted peanuts. Almendras horneadas, which is baked almonds. Pimienta natural, which is pepper, black pepper. Extracto de levadura. And levadura is, I don't remember what levadura is. All right. So it seems like not that, oh yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. So these little chunks here, those are the platanos. Platano is it's like a very large banana. It's a banana family, but it's not a true banana. And they use it mostly for cooking and for making this apparently. So those little chunks here are platanos. And then you have your peanuts and you have your almonds. And then I think like they somehow left a big chunk of platano in there. Yep. So this kind of has the flavor of patacones. Patacones, I think it's the same thing as tostones. I think in the Caribbean they call them tostones. In Colombia they call them patacones. And basically what they do is they take a platano and they mash it and they mix it with butter, I think, and then they grill it. So that's kind of what's going on here. It seems like it's mostly platano here, but again, we have peanuts and we have almonds in there as well. So. The banana or the plantain flavor mixes really well with that nutty flavor. Yeah, that's a nice snack. Now, and again, no warnings on this, so I imagine it's healthy. It's 4 servings per bag, and per portion, 167 calories, 0 grams of trans fat, 4 grams of sugar, total 1.1 gram per serving of sugar, 4.5 grams of protein. Good stuff, I imagine. That's pretty good. I like those. Not a lot of salt in there. Let's see, what is the sodium level? Oh, it's 83 milligrams. I don't think that's a lot. And I'm basing that on looking at the sodium level on ramen, which is like, so yeah, that's really good. That's going to get a thumbs up. Now, I asked why the Dominguez brothers chose the name Manitoba, it's the name of a Canadian city, and they were from Colombia. This is because mani, M-A-N-I, is the Spanish word for peanuts. So that's why they chose the name for their product, Manitoba. If you're going to use the translation of mani, which is peanuts, there's no translation for toba. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe there is a translation for toba, and I just don't know what that is. So yeah, thumbs up on that. All right. This next one, there's a lot of mystery behind it. And again, remember, keep in mind, I got these at Y&Y, which is an Asian grocery. I'm going to call it grocery. Asian grocery in Bogota, Colombia. There isn't a single word of English in here, so I had to use Google Translate on this to try to figure out what it is. It is a fried crab snack cake. It doesn't feel like a cake. It's a fried crab snack cake. It is from Quanzhou Aisheng Food, and Quanzhou Aisheng Food was founded in 2013 by Qi Yongjian in Jinjiang City, China. Now, because there's crab in it, I assume there's crab in it, what kind of crab is used for soft shell crab sandwiches? Again, what kind of crab is used for soft shell crab sandwiches? Manitoba is a province. Ah, yes, yeah, of course, you're right, James. And welcome, James Cox. Now, James, I have to ask you, because I'm old, and so I don't always remember things correctly. I don't recall seeing your name in the chat before. So are you new to the channel, or are you new to the chat? If so, or have you changed your name? And if so, what brings you to the channel, and where are you from? Or do I just not remember? But you're absolutely right. Manitoba is a province and not a city. Asian snacks. I don't care if you're in Colombia or the United States, Asian snacks are packed. Like you're never going to be able to open them. Like it'll survive a nuclear explosion. And I'm pretty sure that's so that they don't, expand and pop open during shipment. Now, usually when something is going to have crab in it like that, you take a whiff of that and it smells like Long Beach at low tide. These do not. They're little puffs. They're adorable. Look at those. They're just little puffs. It looks like breakfast cereal. I'm sure it doesn't taste like breakfast cereal. It does not. There's a little saltiness. I'm getting a seafood flavor, but like a nondescript seafood flavor. It's not like an overwhelming crab flavor. Oh, from Niagara Falls, Ontario area. Well, welcome. No wonder you know what provinces are. I've been to Niagara Falls once. So I was going to a class, the company I work for in Rochester, New York, and a bunch of us decided, let's go, we're really close to Niagara Falls, let's go up to Niagara Falls. So we started out on the American side and then went over to the Canadian side. And oh my God, the Canadian side is much more beautiful because you're looking at the falls, right? And the American side, you're above the falls. The Canadian side, you're kind of looking at the falls. And it's much more impressive from the Canadian side than the American side. That was my take on it anyways. Now, James, you're from the Niagara Falls, Ontario area. do you get like a lot of the food that they eat in Buffalo? Now, I'm not talking about wings. I'm talking about like, I think Buffalo is where they make the garbage plate, which is like macaroni and a bunch of other stuff on the plate. What else? I was going to say Speedies, but I think those are from New York, Binghamton, New York. There's beef on weck. Beef on weck is a sandwich in Buffalo area. Do you get that? Do you get those foods being that close or not? I like these. They're like if you like don't really like seafood very much, not if you're allergic to it. Obviously, if you're allergic to it, you're not going to eat that. But if you just kind of don't like seafood, you'd like these because it's kind of a subtle seafood flavor. Again, it's not like a mouthful of crab or anything. And really kind of subtle. I've been to the Anchor Bar for wings. Okay, there you go. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Anchor Bar, it's where buffalo wings were originated. Remember George Stathakis? I'm saying his name wrong. I don't particularly remember him by the name. Tom, where would I know him from? Wow, garbage plates. Yeah, garbage plates are good. Even though I've been to that area, I never had a garbage plate there. The only place I had a garbage plate was there used to be or it might still be, a food truck in LA called the Garbage Truck, and they would do garbage plates in the or trash plates. I think is either trash plates or garbage plates. I can't remember, but they would do those, and it was from a food truck in LA. That's the only place I had. Oh, used it in Georgia Pudgy. He went over Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls. Slowly I turned. Anyways, again, I like these. I think you see the crab on the outside. I think like if you're not really crazy about seafood and everything, you might like these. These I think would be really, really good in like to use them like oyster crackers in clam chowder. I think these would be really, really good. Nice flavor, just the right amount of salt and everything. And again, I don't know if products from Asia need to have that same warning system that they do in Colombia that the other products do. And they certainly don't need to have a Proposition 65 warning on it. So. Hey, Bob is here. Yes, slowly I turn, inch by inch, step by step. How you doing, Bob? Bob, we need to talk soon, just because we haven't in a while. We need to talk soon. So I will figure out a way for you to give me a call, or I will call you or something, but we'll figure it out. But anyways, welcome, Bob. Always good to see you. Bob, for those who don't know, is Julie's stepfather. I mean, stepfather. What do you call it? Godfather. Julie's godfather. He was there when Julie was born. I mean, not there, but there, you know. All right, our question was, what kind of crab is used for soft shell crab sandwiches? Ice Hand says blue crab. Ice Hand, you are absolutely correct. It is blue crab. The exact species is Calanectis sapidus is the exact species of blue crab found in the Chesapeake Bay, which is used for the soft shell crab sandwiches. Has anybody had fresh soft shell crab sandwiches? Anybody ever had that? I have had soft shell crab. I think I had it in Annapolis, Maryland. And the thing is, my friend David Gordon, who calls himself the Bug Chef, he has made tempura fried tarantula. And I have to tell you that that tempura fried tarantula tastes very similar to soft shell crab. So there you go. Doing good, getting ready for it. Yeah, Julie came on earlier, and she said she was taking the girls out. She was going to get some groceries, and she was going to take them out and get them something to eat, and expecting it. Are they expecting a lot of snow, Bob? I miss snow, but I guess, like when there's like 2 or 3 feet of it, I don't miss it that much. Although I was in the Boston area for the blizzard of '78. And I think it was 3 feet of snow or something. So here's the story, and Bob, you'll remember this. So during the blizzard of '78, everything shut down. So they only allowed emergency vehicles to travel because there were cars that were buried in snowdrifts, so that when the plows went to plow the snow, they would like turn cars over because they couldn't even see them. They were buried under snowdrifts and stuff. But Bob lived in Medford. I lived in Malden, and it was about 5 miles away. And like so, he would like walk down to my house. I would walk up to his house or something. But a lot of the times during the blizzard of '78, we would do snow patrol. And if you're unfamiliar with snow patrol or ski patrol, I think they call it, that's basically when you walk up behind a car when the ground is all covered with ice and snow and everything. You walk up behind a car and you grab onto the bumper and you just like let the car take you where you're going. So we did do a lot of that. Good times. Yeah, surprised we're not dead, Bob. Yeah, good times. All right, so that we're down to our last snack. These looked really unusual. I thought maybe they were worms. They're not worms. I thought maybe, I don't know what I thought these were, but, and again, oh, this has English words on it. English words on it. And so these are picante tripe snacks. So tripe is the lining of a cow's stomach, and there's like 4 different kinds of tripes because there's 4 different kinds of cow stomachs. So there's like one they call book tripe, one that's called honeycomb tripe. There's different kinds of tripe depending on which part of or which stomach that they're using from the cow. But that's basically what this is. So these are tripe snacks. It's so funny because it's in English, but then the ingredients are all in Spanish. I'm assuming it's beef tripe, but they don't specify. I don't know. I think it's hog mao, which is from a pig stomach. But cows, they're ruminants. They have multiple stomachs, and typically those are what you're going to get tripe out of. So this is I'm guessing, a spicy tripe snack. So we're going to see what this is all about. This is from Hangzhou Chenhui Trading Company. Hangzhou Chenhui Trading Company was founded in 2010 in Hangzhou, China. That's all the information I have on that. So as long as we're talking about tripe, what is the Latin American Caribbean stew made from tripe? It's not menudo, that's a soup. What is the name of the Latin American Caribbean stew made from tripe? Okay, so I thought there was a little tear thing here, but there's a picture of scissors, so they want me to open it with scissors, and that's what I'm going to do. Where are my scissors? Oh, here we go. Yeah, Bob, I think back to like some of the stuff that we did as kids and just wonder how I remember that when I was in high school, one of my classes was called work study. And so it was my 4th period class. And 4th period, essentially, you had 3 periods before lunch, and then you had lunch, and then you had your other periods after lunch. Well, my 4th period class was work study. And the way that worked was when everybody else went to lunch, I went to work. So I would work from noon to 5 p.m. and that was a class. So basically the people I worked for would get back to my guidance counselor at school, let them know if I was doing a good job or whatever, and that was what my grade was based on. So I remember that this one place that I was working, I worked at a bunch of different places, but this one place I was working was maybe a mile or so away from where I lived. And at the time, there was a train that went through the city, and a freight train, not one of the passenger trains, but a freight train would go through the city and go relatively slow. And if I didn't time it right, I would have to wait till that train passed to get home from work. And so sometimes I didn't want to wait. And so what I would do is I would just kind of grab on, like the box cars where they have the little ladder thing. I would just grab onto the ladder and I would hitch a ride to the town square and then just kind of jump off there. I still had to wait till the train completely passed. I wasn't going to go under the train or anything, but I still had to wait till the train passed. And then, but I look back on that and I think, boy, that was stupid. I could have died doing that. That's an interesting smell. I think it's like the smell of the peppers here. Yeah, we used to do a lot of reckless stuff when we were kids. And some people complain about that. And some people say like, yeah, back in the old days, we used to do this. It's like, doesn't mean that you should let kids do it now. It just meant that we were a little bit more reckless back then. So what if the kid gets a concussion? He learns from that. All right, there we go. So you can see that. Some kind of oil on it. I guess it's a chili oil. Let's give this a shot. Well, you might have to mess with the lighting because it's, yeah, we're about half an hour away from sunset. So, but I have the ring light on here, and that might be good. We might not have to touch anything. All right, here we go. Ooh, that has a kick. Has anybody ever had jellyfish? Like an Asian restaurant, you ever ordered jellyfish? Anybody? Show of hands. Anybody? Eat jellyfish? Jellyfish going once. Jellyfish going twice. Now, to me, I'm tasting Szechuan peppers. Now, Szechuan peppers are different than like Thai chilies. And they're different because they're peppercorns. So they're more closely associated to like black pepper than they are to like chili peppers. The thing that I don't like about them is that they have this numbing effect. And so I think they do that because they have a lot of heat, but that numbing effect kind of takes the heat down so you can eat more of it. But the thing that I don't like about that is that it also has a tendency to change the flavor of foods. So if you go back to one of our very early episodes, I think it was when I was doing the 10 million Scoville unit extract on a piece of chicken. And we were trying different remedies. And one of the ones we tried was the Szechuan peppers. So I tried the Szechuan peppers and it didn't help. I mean, it numbed my mouth a little bit, but 10 million Scoville, you're in serious trouble anyways. And so I tried these Szechuan peppers to try and numb my mouth. It worked to a little extent, but everything I ate afterwards just tasted weird. Like I had ice cream and it was salty, like water. Ice water had a weird flavor to it and stuff like that. So it messes with your taste buds. And if you ever remember, I want to say it was on Reckless Eating, I took Matt to Tofu King in Rollin Heights, and we had stinky tofu. You know this place, you know where this place is just by smell. So like you walk into the parking lot and everything, and you're like, oh, it smells like it's over there. You can smell it like outside. And the only thing I didn't like about it, we got two. We got just the regular fried one, and we got the one that was like kind of like a stew, but they use Szechuan peppers in there. And that's kind of what I don't like, is because I like the flavor of stinky tofu, but the Szechuan peppers kind of changed the flavor of it. I wasn't crazy about that. Saw a list of dangerous toys from days past. We had two of the items: Creepy Crawler Factory with a hot plate, and of course, lawn darts. Now, the one I remember that we had, Ice Hand, is, did they mention clackers? Just had jellyfish on toast, didn't like it. Oh, okay. Yeah, some people do, some people don't. It's a textural thing, I think, more than a flavor thing. I jiggled some at the Monterey Aquarium. Well, it was probably fun for the jellyfish. Ice Hand, do you remember, or maybe it was on the list. Do you remember clackers? So clackers were, I think they were based on something called, I think they're called boleros, which they used, the gauchos would use in South America, in Argentina, and basically what they would do is they would throw it. So it was a rope tied on one end, and then like in the middle. And then it had two ends that came out, and on the end of each of those was a glass ball, on the end of each one of those. And what the gauchos would do is they would take it, they would throw it, and it would wrap itself around the legs of the cattle, or or llama or whatever it was that they were herding, wrap himself around the legs so they couldn't move, and they would capture them that way. But something very similar, or even just reused as a toy in the United States, was something called clackers, which were these, I don't know if it was glass or hard plastic. Either way, it was dangerous. So basically what you would do is you would do this with it, and because you had those two balls, either hard plastic or glass balls on either side, it would kind of go like that, right? And they would hit against each other, and they'd make a sound like, this really, you can imagine like two glass balls hitting against each other, what sound it's going to make, which was a lot of fun, right? It was a lot of fun, unless you got hit by it, right? So like if you happened to be standing too close to it or something, or you just like moved it a little bit too close and you got hit by one of those balls, it would hurt like holy hell. Or the worst thing is if it just hit the right way and you had like chips of that plastic or glass flying off, that was dangerous too. But it was the 70s, It was the 70s. Have fun, kids. Go outside and play with your clackers. They did not mention them, but I had them too. Yeah, those were extremely dangerous. I don't know why, I look back on that and I think like, what a crazy thing to give to kids, but it was the 70s. Woo! I had clackers along with a bruised arm. I busted a window. My dad was not. Yeah, exactly. They were dangerous. I actually think they were used in South America by the gauchos to round up cattle. So yeah, some genius thought, wouldn't this be a fun toy for kids? Yeah, should it come with a helmet? I don't know. All right, those I don't know if I gave it to you. Thumbs up on those. Again, I'm going to say thumbs up, trending downward slightly, only because nice level of spice, a nice flavor in the sauce, the coating, nice texture in the tripe. But I just kind of wish they didn't use the Szechuan peppers. It's okay. I do kind of wish they didn't use Szechuan peppers. So I'm going to say thumbs up, trending downward. Now, my question was, what is the name of Latin American Caribbean stew made from tripe, which is not menudo? Let's see. Did anyone even answer that? No one did answer that. It is called mondongo. Mondongo, made with tripe. I think you can get that here in Colombia. I think I should go look for it because I don't think I've had it since I've been here. All right. That's the fun thing about Colombia. It's on the Caribbean. It's also on the Pacific Ocean. You got mountains. Fun place. In low areas, you got heat because it's close to the equator. What's not to love? All right. So we have 15 minutes left. It is time for, yes, you guessed it, goop melange. We have not done goop melange in a while. Here is our handy dandy goop melange bowl. Let's go ahead and get started. So we have our crab crackers. Let's put some of those in there. And they're small enough, we'll just put them in as is. And then let's see. Oh, we have our feijoa, the fruit. Let me cut up some of that. And I'm going to leave the skin on because you can eat it. Ooh, when you cut into that, you really get the smell of that fruit, and it's really nice smell. There we go. All right, let's put the rest of this tripe in. I'm going to cut that up a little bit too. I'm working on getting a taller table so you guys can see what I'm doing. Be about that tall, you'll be able to see that. Okay, there's our tripe. What else? We got, our Manitoba platanitos mix. I'm going to shake it up a little bit only because it seems like we got mostly plantains in there and not a lot of the almonds and peanuts. Let's see. Well, that's a good mix. That should be enough. We didn't have anything that was like really bizarre. So I think this is probably going to be okay. Here is our baked potato sticks. Ooh, I hear the neighborhood dogs. These break apart really nice. Might even put a couple more. Really like the flavor of that though. Not like a baked potato. They get some potato flavor in there, but just a nice mix of flavors in that. It's getting dark out there. So apparently our light is okay. All right, there we go. Let's see, we have our toasted corn. That should break apart fine, I think. Yeah. I'm thinking hummus. Avocado would be nice on that too. Okay, and our fried egg chips. I love these. These are really good. And I didn't do this on purpose, of course, but it's funny how most of what we have today does not have the warnings on there. That I think this maybe the beer. The beer is the only thing that really had that warning on it. And oh, the cookies. I hope that breaks apart. The pineapple. I'm going to call them Oreos. They're not Oreos, but I'm going to call them Oreos. The pineapple Oreos. And I think that's it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got it. All right. It is goût mélange time. Where's my spoon? Here we go. I think it's going to be fine. There's nothing really like, there's nothing chocolate in here. There's not, we're not doing like sardines or anything like that. I think it's going to be okay. What I think might be a little bit off is the pineapple cookies. I think might be a little bit off. Might throw it off a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. Goût mélange, everybody. See if we can get a little bit of everything in there. Make sure we get the tripe. There we go. Good goop. Interesting textures there. A lot of crunchy stuff. But if you definitely get the feijoa, the fruit, the feijoa, and the tripe. Why is that fuzzy? It's fuzzy because I brought that up to the camera. Come on, focus. There we go. A lot of interesting flavors come out here. Now, I would think the feijoa would be really, really sweet. It's not. I would think the pineapple cookie would be really, really sweet. It's not. Mixed in with this. This is not a snack mix I would serve to people. It's also not offensive. I am getting a lot of the sugar from the cookie, I think. Not bad though. Really nothing offensive in that at all. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Now, would I eat it again? Would I make that and serve it? No. But it's pretty good. It's not like some of the other ones. Some of the other ones I had where I mixed stuff together and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm going to eat this whole bowl of goût mélange. That's not the case here. But it's also not like I regretted just putting one spoonful of that in my mouth. So yeah, thumbs up on that. Cheers. A little bit of our refajo for those of you who came in late. I'm trying to think if there is an equivalent drink to refajo in the U.S. Basically, we're mixing a soda and a beer. Is there anything similar to that? I know we use sodas for like Jack Daniels and Coke, something like that. But I don't know if I don't think we do anything with beer. Do we use beer to mix? A Boilermaker is beer with a shot of whiskey dropped in it. Tom, you used to be a bartender, I think. Used to be a bartender? Yes, no? Do you remember what a Boilermaker is? Jaeger. Oh, so the Boilermaker was beer with a shot of Jaeger dropped in it? Is that right, Nashies? Nashies, were you a bartender? I was never a bartender. I did work in a restaurant. So basically, an ice cream parlor, I guess is for lack of a better term. And so I was a busboy, and I worked the takeout counter. But I could also wait on tables if it got really busy and they needed somebody to help. So a lot of people would come in there. They would order ice cream sundae or banana split, something like that. And I knew how to make all of those things. But occasionally, they'd also do sandwiches, grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff like that. And I would do the stuff on the grill. No, I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, but still, I mean, you would have had that drink at some point in time. Yeah, so those of you who, I think it was only in New England and maybe even in the Boston area. Does anyone remember Brigham's? Now, Bob, if you're still there, you remember Brigham's. I know you remember Brigham's. But Brigham's was an ice cream parlor chain in the Boston area. They used to be everywhere. Like every city had a Brigham's. And now they don't exist anymore. But ironically, I've been in a couple of stores where I've seen Brigham's ice cream. Like even in LA, been in a couple of stores. I think Grocery Outlet had it. And they had Brigham's ice cream in there. As far as ice cream goes, nothing special. It's kind of like thrifty ice cream here. Everybody makes not here, but in the LA area, everybody makes a big deal out of thrifty ice cream. It's basic ice cream. There's nothing special about it. Brigham's in Malden Square. Yeah, I worked at that Brigham's, the Brigham's in Malden Square, which was right across the street from where we used to rehearse. The band we used to rehearse. Remember that? Remember that, Bob? Yeah, so Brigham's. Friendly's was another one. Friendly's was another one that was everywhere, and I think they've closed a lot of ones. I think there was one recently at the airport, at Logan Airport. I think they closed that one. But I think there's maybe like one or two left of Friendly's, but they've all closed too. But just really weird running into Brigham's ice cream in the LA area, going into a grocery outlet and seeing the Brigham's ice cream. Again, no big deal. Like thrifty ice cream, no big deal. The big deal about thrifty ice cream, for those of you in the LA area, the big deal about thrifty ice cream is the way they serve it. So, they put it in a cone. Nothing special about the cone, but the scoop that they used to get the ice cream was cylindrical. So you end up with this cylindrical thing of ice cream coming up from the top of the cone, and everybody thought that was a big deal. But to be honest with you, taste-wise, nothing special about thrifty ice cream, I don't think. Brigham's, Dairy Queen, and Friendly's. I think there was more. There was one where you would go in there and there was like a band that was playing, and it was like this old-timey kind of place. Chadwick's. I don't know if you remember Chadwick's, Bob. Chadwick's is another place like that, ice cream place. Another one where if you ordered the big thing, you would make a big deal out of it. My favorite, and we actually have an episode where we filmed there, was Putnam Pantry. And Putnam Pantry is in Danvers, Massachusetts, right off Route 1. And it is in a historic, I think it used to be a shoe factory. And it was owned by General Putnam, which is why they call it Putnam Pantry. General Putnam, who was a general during the Revolutionary War. So the cool thing about it is they have this thing, they call it the smorgasbord, the ice cream smorgasbord. And so basically you order your ice cream, so you get sundae, junior sundae, whatever you're going to get, banana split, whatever you order. And then you go down this line where they have like 30 different toppings. So they have panucci and butterscotch and chocolate sauce and whipped cream and jimmies, which are sprinkles, nuts, all kinds of things. And usually what ended up happening is they would give you a plate to put your sundae on. And by the time you got down to the end of the line, you had an equal amount of ice cream and toppings. Like the ice cream would be up to here and the toppings would be up to here and everything. It'd be really crazy. So you'd have to try to figure out the creative way to get the most toppings on there. And the easiest way was to put the whipped cream on it first. And then you could stick the other toppings into the whipped cream. They had a dish called the Battle of Bunker Hill, and it was 17 scoops of ice cream, and it cost $17.75, 1775, I think it was, which was like supposed to be like the year, right? It was like $17.75. And you get these 17 scoops of ice cream. You could pick whatever, like if you want to just say, give me one of every kind of ice cream you have. 17 scoops of ice cream, and then you go through the smorgasbord and you put stuff on top of that. That's something you did for a party. You know, like I can't imagine somebody going through that line and a single person and ordering the Battle of Bunker Hill. I just can't picture it. I don't remember that, but Buttrick's and yes, Putnam Pantry is still in operation. I don't see Putnam Pantry going out of operation. I just like because there's a historical aspect to it, and just like everybody in the Boston area knows Putnam Pantry, so. And I think, I was going to say, I think there's only one, but I think, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong, that there used to be one in Arlington. There used to be a Putnam Pantry in Arlington as well. I don't know if that's still open, but certainly the one in Danvers is not at any risk of being closed. So Buttrick's is closed, and I guess Chadwick's is probably closed too, right? Hey, Sonic Jet, you're here for the last 3 minutes, but you're never too late. Welcome. We're about ready to wind it down. You might have to watch the replay to see what we enjoyed today. But yeah, today was a thumbs up. I don't think we had anything that was like questionable or even like a not thumbs up. If it got a not thumbs up, it was because it wasn't as advertised. Let's put it that way. So once again, I thank you all for being here. We had a little smaller crew here, but hey, if just one of you showed up, we're doing a live stream and we're going to enjoy. It's good to see you guys again. Have not seen you guys in a couple of weeks, so I missed you guys, and it's always the high point of my week to do these live streams with you and to share food and talk and beverages with you. So I thank you all for your support. Our subscription level is going up little by little. I think we're at 6,147 or something, some crazy amount like that, but it's going up, and I thank you all for that. If you guys enjoy the channel, and if you guys have been enjoying the channel but you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. And also then check out the other channels. A lot of those people who are in the chat, Tom, old guy in Colorado, and he's got 2 channels because he has old guy radio players as well. And we have Nashies, and we have just a bunch of Janice Yamanaka. Great channels. And then other channels who, people don't show up in the chat, but we still recommend anyways. If you don't know who those are, go to our main page on YouTube, scroll down to featured channels. They're all in there. And we would not recommend those to you if we didn't think that you would enjoy them. So definitely check that out, and show them the same love that you show us. If you like the videos, and I think you will, give the thumbs up, leave a comment on that. That's always a good thing. And subscribe to their channels as well. So really appreciate it. Oh, Janice popped back in. Sonic saying hi, Janice. So Sonic, Janice was in Knott's Berry Farm, and she's another one of their food festivals. So she's in and out. She may not see that, but next time she will. I'm eating Carl's Jr. guacamole burger. I've not had the guacamole burger, Sonic. My favorite is the Diablo. Diablo is my favorite Carl's Jr. burger. So again, I thank you all for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. Hope to see you again soon. Hopefully we'll be able to do these more. And we had a couple weeks off, but hopefully we'll be able to do these more. And Janice didn't reply. Okay. And again, really, really appreciate it. But I want you to remember that it's crazy out there. So please be careful. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. And we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Hey, and those of you in the north and the northeast, the east and the northeast, be careful. I hear there's a big storm coming. Stock up and stay safe. Talk to you all later. Have a good night.